Taking part in creative contests is an amazing opportunity for anyone who wants to test their skills and get some exposure. Recently, I had the opportunity to be one of the judges for the 2023 BenQ DesignVue contest. The task for contestants was to design an original character inspired by Pantone's color of the year, Viva Magenta. In this video, I will share my opinion about all the best entries and what made them stand out. I will also talk to Dori about her workflow, who was one of the winners and who created a fun and quirky character in Blender. Out of the hundreds of entries that were submitted for this contest, there were only 40 selected for the final scoring. It was myself and two other creative professionals who were the judges, and we had to give a score of 1 to 10, 10 being the best. First of all, let's take a closer look at the three winners. So we have Diana taking the first place with this cute and lovely illustration. We have second place, Adam with the mermaid. And then on the third place, we have Dori, or Dorottya, who created this composition. Now, since the winners were decided based on the overall score that the three judges gave, Dorottya actually ended up being third. However, I actually chose her as my favorite. So she was my overall winner based on my scores that I gave. And that is the reason why I decided to call her and have a discussion about her workflow, which you will see later in this video. Looking at the work of the other two winners, I believe still Dori was the one who really nailed the brief for this contest. Since the task of this contest was to create a character design, I believe her composition is the one that really features this main character. And it is all about the character's pose, expression, colors, and small details like the chameleon tail being the hair, and so on and so forth. I'm not saying the other two winners are not good compositions. However, I wouldn't really call them character designs. One thing we can say on their behalf is they probably feature the products, the BenQ monitors, a bit more compared to Dori's work, where the monitor is only a small detail in the background, because the character and the details emerging from the monitor takes up most of the frame. I wanted to mention that besides the three winning entries, there were also a lot of creative compositions created in 3D, and I just highlighted some of them here, which you can see on my screen. And equally, there were some really good 2D illustrations as well. But now it's time to talk to Dori and learn about her workflow. This was actually the second time you used Blender, or the second project that you used Blender for. How much time did it take you to put this together roughly?
2 or 3 days, but it really went like I worked on it for some time, and then I kind of put it away for some time, and then I took it out again and looked at it to see it with fresh eyes. My abilities weren't there yet, so I had to watch tutorial for how to make a 3D shoe, and I wasn't always satisfied with the first result that I got. So there are many parts on her that I had to do again and again, but I didn't mind it because it was all a learning process.
Joining a contest like this gives you a good incentive and motivation. If you want to learn a new tool, set yourself a task to enter a contest using that tool. Was it hard to match the Viva Magenta color? Because you got a really good close match on most of the character, even though there's obviously variation and tonal differences, but in general, it has a very good match. Was that tricky to do in 3D? Because of course in 2D it's fairly simple, but in 3D you have different textures and materials and lighting.
Once I put the Pantone swatch in there, that's when I realized that it's actually almost like a completely different color. And then I kind of used this swatch to match the colors, but it was hard.
I remember you showed me your initial sketches and your ideas for the character. Do you mind just showing that as well?
With this project for BenQ, I thought maybe an animal would be fun, and then I got thinking about what animal is famous from its color, and that's how I got to chameleon. You can see that there are things that are there from the very beginning, like her swirly hair,
which is like the chameleon's tail.
yes, exactly. And her lollipop too. At one point, I wanted to give her like also swirly eyes, but then I decided maybe that's a bit much swirl. And also, I knew that I wanted to put her in some crazy pose, like somehow enclosed in the monitor or hanging from it.
You have that other color sketch as well, the final sketch, if you don't mind just showing that as well, which already has like a full composition with the monitor and roughly the colors as well. I love how you really utilize the shape of the monitor, which provides it like a frame, but you also come out of the bounds with the hair and then create a nice interaction or integration. Feels really the monitor is part of the composition. The character is living in the monitor. I always say this to everyone, that the initial sketches and ideas are so important, because if you get it right at this stage, it saves you so much time along the workflow, especially when it comes to 3D. You can waste a lot of time. If your original idea is not strong enough, you can spend hours or days struggling, but the final result will never be as impactful or engaging compared to when you get it right already in this initial ideation stage.
Before we continue, I just wanted to let you know about our creative membership program. For a small monthly fee, you get access to over 200 hours of Adobe certified online training courses. Master all the tools and skills needed to become a professional graphic designer or illustrator. As a pro member, you will get mentoring from me and my team, access to webinars, student forum, and creative briefs to help you build an outstanding portfolio. Pro members can also download the project files for all of our YouTube tutorials. Sign up at yesimadesigner.com/memberships and start your free trial today.
Is this something that you already showed to someone before you started working in 3D?
I showed it to my boyfriend. He's also an artist, and he kind of keeps denying it, but he has a really good eye. I think he has good abilities to being an art director, because he can spot things that can make the artwork a lot better, and he can explain it in a way that it's easy to understand what he means.
That's, I think, is also very, very important to have someone's like an external feedback. It could be anyone, but it's extremely useful if it's someone who also has a trained eye for composition and design. It's good to find someone, of course, who can give constructive criticism, because some people would just say, "Oh, I love it." And as an artist, as a designer or illustrator or animator, you have to learn that skill to be able to take the feedback on board, because that's also a skill. First of all, being able to ask what you're looking for, but then also to be able to take that on board and not be upset about it or be disheartened because of it. Having someone like your boyfriend who can give this type of feedback, I think, is great.
Maybe one thing I would add is, as you said, you would have loved this sketch. I also loved it, which was kind of a problem in a way, because there were some things that, like her eyes and her skin color, that I ended up changing in the process, and it was hard to let go of something that was there so early in the creation of the artwork. I can show you actually that her skin was blue for the longest time. I just couldn't let it go, because that was the sketch that I loved, and her skin was blue. And at the end, I of course ended up with the pink skin, and I think it looks so much better and so much more put together. But that was a hard thing to do.
If you are too set on an idea, and you're not flexible enough to move away from certain aspects of it, you don't let the art grow as you work on it, that's also can be a problem and prevent you from achieving like better results in the end. So yeah, it's hard to know how far you can trail off from the initial idea. But I think in this case, you ended up in a very good balance between the changes and the original idea.
While I was making this, I thought it's so good that it's not an animation, it's just an illustration, because if you look at it from the point that it's meant to be looked at from, so like from the view of the camera, it's fine, but as soon as you turn, there are some issues, like she doesn't even have a hand, like her hand is not connected, she's not even holding her lollipop, the lollipop stick part is not in the candy part, so I find it kind of funny how from one point it looks fine, and everywhere else, if you look at it from anywhere else, it's falling apart. But this is part of making something in 3D that I enjoyed. I could get away with something like this.
Yeah, it's the beauty of 3D, especially when the output is not an animation, but a still. All right. Well, thank you so much, Dori, for talking to us. And once again, congratulations. Whoever wants to check out your work, the links to your Instagram is in the description below. I hope you found this video useful and perhaps it inspired you to take part in creative contests in the future. Make sure to subscribe to our channel if you are interested in learning about tools like Blender. Also, check out the links in the description if you want to find out more about my favorite BenQ monitor. Thanks a lot for joining us today, and I will see you in the next one.